Who remembers a few weeks ago when I talked about the police's lack of action with JustStopOil protesters, where I addressed the argument that the police don't have the power to deal with these protesters. And then I went on to say that the laws exist in various acts and the police are just not doing it, because either the police have just been captured ideologically, or they're just government-approved protests, or even just government agents. Well, it's looking more and more like I was right again, because they seem to treat them like they are a bunch of children and don't really do anything about them. Even going as so far as offering them a drink of water, as opposed to, enforcing the Highways Act of 1980, because they are obstructing a highway, which is illegal, PC. And just last month in October, they decided it would be a great idea to obstruct an ambulance and a fire engine in the middle of London, which is also illegal. And I did the comparison previously to the anti-lockdown protests, where the police had absolutely no problem pushing and shoving people, chasing people down the streets, rugby tackling, manhandling and throwing people to the ground and getting people in headlocks. They had absolutely no problem dealing with these protesters whatsoever, which indicates that anti-lockdown is against the government. It's against the government narrative. But then you have these guys who obstruct highways and block ambulances and fire engines from getting to where they need to be to save lives and preventing people from getting to work and getting their kids to school. Nah. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to let them sit there. Big deal, they've just closed the Dartford crossing. Leave them up there for 24 hours. Would you like a bottled water? Because this is British after all. We are British police. This is how we deal with people who are obstructing the highways and literally breaking the law. Who cares about the law? They've got our interests at heart, They're saving us. Because one person dying because an ambulance was obstructed by us is nothing compared to the millions who will die if we don't stop oil in the United Kingdom. Despite the fact over and over again I have said this, we are not even a major polluter. Yes, my voice just broke. That's how bloody fed up I'm getting with these idiots. But I'm not sure who I'm more pissed off with at this point. The protesters or the weak police? The police who claim that they need more laws and more powers to tackle these protesters, which the government are always more than happy to hand over because it's more control over society. Which is why there's a part of me that can't help but think these guys are just a psyop, along with Extinction Rebellion and Insulate Britain, whatever they were called. Either hold the country to ransom or just rile the people up enough so that they demand more draconian laws, which the politicians are always more than happy to propose. And just in case you're not convinced there's an issue with the policing system in this country, let me show you something else. Drill rap gang banned from making music without police permission. I'm not a massive fan of drill rap, I don't really care about it, but what I do have a problem with is the idea that someone has to ask the police for permission before making music. Yo, boss man, you got a license for that mixtape? Let's do another one, because I'm not done yet, and this one is truly gruesome. One of the fathers of the victims of the Rotherham grooming scandal was arrested for trying to rescue his own daughter. Arrested by police for breaching the peace as he tried to rescue her. John, who has suffered a stroke and a heart attack, was diagnosed with secondary PTSD, which has been blamed on the trauma his family has endured. Well, I'm not flipping surprised, seeing as his daughter was being abducted and to add to the stress, they've also received death threats, and in one incident, a fake gravestone was dumped in front of his bungalow with his name on it. The dad of the Rotherham survivor says it's atrocious that no police have been arrested over the scandal, yet he was held by officers twice. Yes, I agree. Why was no police officer who was complicit in this arrested? They've just turned a blind eye like everyone else. I find it very sickening and absolutely atrocious that we have not seen any justice for this at all. His daughter Elizabeth was just 14 when she was groomed by a woman she'd met at a bus stop. She was then passed around to men in Rotherham and taken to Bristol to be raped and abused. Her weight plunged to 5 stone after she was locked in a flat for 10 weeks and controlled with drugs. Her parents say they spent years begging for help to save their daughter from the grooming gang to no avail. So the police won't handle protesters if they protest a certain thing. They will turn a blind eye to child rape because they are afraid of being labelled racist. They won't investigate burglaries. And they will happily waste their time recording things that aren't even crimes, that are down to pure perception. Who else thinks that the policing system needs a major looking into? Because the Tories, Labour, Lib Dem, Greens and SNP certainly don't. Obviously, I'm not demonising every single police officer. They are individuals at the end of the day. But there is something wrong with the hires up.